we're going to be doing a practice to open up your shoulders, open up the chest, and if you tend to carry any stress, tension in the upper back, which I certainly do, we'll be trying to release that. So this is a good, fairly quick practice that you can use to pair with other practices, or if you're on a lunch break, just needing a bit of shift in your day, it's a great one to go to. So to begin, first, you may want to make sure you have 2 blocks. Now, these aren't required for the class, but we'll be ending the class in a pose where they can help support you. So if you do have them around, I recommend having 2 of them. If you don't worry about it. We'll begin in child's pose toward the back of the mat. You can choose if you take the knees as wide as the mat to get into the hips a bit more, or maybe you bring them hip width distance, allowing the torso to rest on the thighs. Start to extend the hands straight out here, and you'll automatically start to feel the stretch into the upper arms. You can hover the face over the mat, or maybe you start to rest the forehead down. Again, notice what feels best for your energy. We're going to start by taking a few cleansing breaths. So finding your inhale through the nose as deep as you can go. Exhaling out through the mouth and really releasing on your exhales. Inhaling through the nose. Filling up with breath. Exhaling through the mouth. Release, let go. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling again, maybe making this one a bit deeper. And exhale, extending through the mouth. Engaging the core. One more. Inhaling here through the nose. Exhaling out. Release, release. Take a moment to feel this even breath. Something a bit deeper than you're normally breathing, just in your everyday actions. But not too deep to where it occupies all your attention. You're able to be somewhere in between. And do your best to create an even inhale and exhale. This time trying to do both the inhale and the exhale through your nose. Feeling this rhythm. And on your next inhale, beginning to lift the forearms up, bringing palms together, Anjali Mudra, and guiding the mudra behind the nape of the neck. As you do this, you might move the elbows slightly forwards. They're coming toward the top of the mat to intensify. You'll feel this in the upper arm and in the armpits. Finding your breath here. Taking one more full breath cycle. And on your next exhale, releasing the hands down in front of you. As you inhale, sending the gaze forward toward the thumbs, pressing through the palms and lift all 10 fingers up. So you get this really nice connection through your palms into the mat. Begin to pull yourself forward. Allow the elbows to come out to the side, and you're keeping the belly, the torso, the chest low here. As you start to come all the way forward, release the fingers down and start to straighten the legs all the way back. So the hands can come underneath your shoulders or slightly forward, depending on how you're feeling. Press in through the big toenails, so you're making contact through the tops of the feet. As we inhale, begin to lift into your cobra. So notice what your shoulders are doing. We're going to start to add shoulder rolls whilst in cobra pose. So beginning to bring the shoulders up, exhaling down. Now this is fairly intense, so if you prefer to have your baby cobra where you're just lifting the hands away from the mat, the chest is open, you can also do these shoulder circles. So notice what feels better. If there's any twinging or issues in the low back, you can either bring the feet as wide as the mat, or you can keep them hip width distance. Just notice what feels good to you. Start to find your best cobra variation. And a key point in cobra is that we're not trying to launch into a back bend, even though you are getting a back bend. You're opening the chest forward. So start to really feel that. Press a little bit more through the pointer fingers and the thumbs. And one more shoulder circle, find your inhale. And as we exhale, lower down, tuck the toes under, hands underneath the shoulders, push up onto the knees. And we're gonna start to walk the knees in so they come underneath your hip points. Hands underneath the shoulders if they've strayed, and then begin to push up into your cat pose. As you do this, really pressing through the tops of the feet, and notice again the connection through the hands. You're pressing a little bit more through the pointer fingers and the thumbs. We're gonna move into our cat-cow. As we inhale, opening the chest, dropping the belly, send the gaze, the tailbone upward, and we exhale into our cat, really stretching through the back body, pressing through tops of feet and palms. Inhaling into our cow, stretching up. Exhale, stretching back into our cat, relaxing the head. Start to match your even inhale, exhale through the nose with these two movements. And do your best to allow the breath to be the guide here. We normally kind of fall into this pattern where our movement is guiding the breath, and the breath has to catch up, right? Like when you go running, you're moving fast, the breath starts catching. Try to allow the breath to be the guide here. Really feeling your back. And again, especially noticing that upper back in between the shoulder blades. Go ahead and take one more full round here, completely on your own breath, finding your inhale, stretching the front line. Exhale, coming back into your cat, allowing the head to relax, even more separation between the shoulder blades, and then beginning to release. From here, extend the right hand straight out. And notice if you need to adjust through your base here, you can always put padding underneath your knees, or you can always take a moment to move out through the left hand. So make sure you have that, and then begin to extend the right hand out and straight over to the right. Palm facing down, active through the fingers. So you're really pushing through the space. Start to feel this length that will begin to build. Protect the left wrist again, pressing a little bit more through the pointer finger and the thumb as the fingers are spread. And then begin to bend the right elbow, bringing the right hand to the back of the head and allow the right elbow to come straight out toward the right. As you inhale, send the gaze up, send the elbow up. Exhale, coming back down, but with control. So your right elbow is going to want to drop down here. We're going to try to keep it pushing straight up. Inhaling up, feeling this into the side body, pressing through the left hand. Exhale. Back to center, keep the right elbow straight out. We'll do 3 more. Inhaling here, exhaling down, right elbow straight out, keep it active. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, hold this one a bit longer. Exhaling down. And last one, inhale, hold, begin to straighten this right elbow. So you're extending straight up, spread through the fingers. And as you exhale, begin to thread the needle, bringing the right hand underneath the left armpit, and your top of right hand is pressing into the floor beside you. Your left hand is just in front of the face, and you're welcome to stay here. The more that you press into the top of the right hand, the more that you're going to be feeling this into the arm and into the shoulder. Now you have the option to extend the left hand up, and you might take a bind, so bending the left elbow, bring the left hand to the inside of the right thigh. And as you do this, rolling the left shoulder away from the left ear, just intensifying. Again, notice what feels good. And if you want even more here, you can start to straighten through this left knee. Start to push out through the left heel. This intensifies it quite a bit. So just an option, you can always release it. Finding your breath. And as you exhale, if you had the left knee straightened, gently guide it back in. Try to bring it next to the right. And then begin to unravel from your bind if you took the option. Left hand returns to the front of the face. You press in through the left palm and you begin to rise, extending this right hand up, really holding here. And we exhale, reach the right hand forward and return it back down. Take a moment just to roll through the shoulders here. So if you like that cat-cow, you can add that in here actually. If you want to inhale, bringing up, exhale down, or you can just allow the movement to come in. Again, whatever feels best to you. Begin to release any little shakeouts you need to do through the wrists. Sometimes bringing the hands to fists can feel nice, or you can stretch back, bringing the fingers to point toward the knees. Again, just check your base, make sure that you're aligned as best you can. And then we're going to come back into our tabletop. As we inhale, drop the front line, send the gaze, the tailbone up, your cow pose. Exhaling back into your cat, holding this cat. And as we inhale, returning to tabletop, I'm going to turn here so you can continue to see what I'm doing on this side. Extend the left hand straight out. Sending the gaze down, and notice your balance here. You might need to adjust a bit through the feet, through the knees, through the palms. Allow that in. Active through the left fingers. So you might even get a bit of a shake in your left arm. Straight out, shoulder height. And then begin to bend this left elbow. Bring the left hand to the back of the head. Thumb might come toward the nape of the neck. And notice your left elbow is probably going to want to come in here. We're going to extend it straight out. Pressing firmly in through the right fingertips. As we inhale, lift this left elbow up. And exhale, coming down but maintaining control. Not allowing this left elbow to drop. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale, lift the left elbow up. Exhale down, 2 more full ones. Inhale, extending, lifting left elbow. Exhale, bringing it back down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And on the next one, we inhale and we start to straighten slowly this left elbow, extending the left hand straight up. And this time as we exhale, begin to thread the needle, bringing this left hand underneath the right armpit, allowing the head, left side of the head, to rest on the mat. And this is where you choose that intensity. So maybe you bring the right arm straight up. Maybe you find your bind by bending the right elbow, bringing it to the inside of the left thigh. And if you do this, just roll the right shoulder in toward the ear and away. Really feel that length. The more that you press in through the top of the left hand, the more intense you'll make this as well. And you have the option to start to straighten the right leg back. So you start to activate and lengthen through the right heel. You kind of automatically have to press a bit more into the top of the left hand as you do this, so you'll feel this intensify and find your breath. Allow the face to relax. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, begin to bend the right knee if you straighten it back. Unbind the right hand if you took the option, extending right hand up. And then lowering it down toward the face, pressing in through the right hand, we extend, lifting this left arm up. Lengthen, lengthen, and exhale, bringing the left hand forward. From here, we're going to, again, make sure our base is feeling good in tabletop, and we're going to straighten the hands straight out in front of us. So elbows straight, fingers spread, and from here you begin to lower. Now your head might just hover, that's fine. Or maybe you can lower the forehead all the way down to the mat. The more that you're lengthening out through the hands here, the more intense the stretch will be. Now your low body is exactly as it is in tabletop, so pressing gently through the tops of the feet and breathing into this space. This is puppy pose. Just feeling your breath here. And as you inhale, imagining the breath really rising from the low belly, up into the mid belly, and then into the upper body. And as you exhale, maybe release a bit more. Maybe the armpits come even closer to the mat. Finding your inhale. And as you exhale, Begin to gently slide the hands just slightly back in, just bending the elbows. And then we're going to rise up and come onto our bellies. So gently lowering down. You can always adjust here. Maybe moving side to side. If you need to move where you are in the mat a bit, that's fine too. Just make sure you're comfortable. And we're going to begin to extend the arms out. So the fingers are actually pointing away, kind of to the sides of the mat or the floor, because the fingers are on the floor here. And then bending the elbows, we're going to inhale up into our super cobra. Now this is an interesting one just to see where you are. So as you rise up, again, notice how your back is feeling. If you do have a tight low back, just begin to separate the feet. If you're getting actual pain in your back, just keep it low here and gently move the elbows side to side. If you're not, press up, open chest, allow the elbows to come back. So sometimes they want to come forward, allow them to come back, and then gently sway side to side. Finding your breath. Taking one more inhale. Finishing out, evening out the sides, holding in, nice and still. And we exhale. Begin to gently lower the forehead down. Go ahead and extend the right arm straight out. So palm pressing into the floor beside you. And from here, we're going to begin to bend this left knee and point the left toes up. Your left hand stays where it is. So you're on the fingertips, it's still lifting. And you're going to start to roll all the way over until you're feeling the deep stretch into the right shoulder. So we're coming onto the side, and as the right hand is tucked back here, you're kind of folding the body over onto it. So really deep through the front right shoulder and chest area. You can lower this left foot down if you'd like, or alternatively, you can start to lift this left hand up and grasp the left ankle. Now as you do this, really hug the left heel in toward the left sit bone. And then the heel, I was going to say the kneel. The knee's going to be pointing straight down toward the back of the mat. And you might notice your knee tries to come up here. Try to keep it down. It's parallel to the other thigh. You can activate through the right leg as well if you want to flex through the foot or point, or it can stay relaxed. Find your breath. And to intensify, you just roll a bit more to the right. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, gently begin to release the left foot, extend the left hand up, bring it back down. This time underneath the shoulder, you can walk it in if you took a different variation. And then bringing yourself back to center, we're going to do the other side. So extend the left arm straight out. Come up onto the right fingertips. Make sure you're comfy as you start to roll and just checking your sensation. You might have plenty of sensation like this, and then you can just release the right foot down. But if you can go a bit deeper, or if you want to add that quad stretch in, then begin to open through that left shoulder, chest, and bend through the right knee. Now remember, the right leg might want to come up here. We're going to keep it in line. So you're really trying to get this right heel toward the right sit bone as the right knee points straight down toward the bottom of the mat. Just relax the head. Again, don't allow the focus to go completely into the leg here. Sometimes it does because we're holding the foot. Try to allow the opening to remain in the left front shoulder. Find your breath. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, if you're holding the right ankle, gently release, extend the right arm up and bring it down in front of the face, underneath the shoulder, roll back to center, and we inhale. Rise up into your cobra. Take a moment to add those shoulder rolls in. Inhaling here. Coming to stillness, and exhale, releasing, curling toes under, pressing up onto the knees, coming back into your tabletop, and then starting to slide the hands back, tucking the chin in, and taking a moment to allow the shoulders to drop down and forward as you reach the hands to your knees. Really tuck the chin in here, and you want to be gripping
really pretty firmly through your hands onto the knees. So you start to feel the stretch in the low back, releasing through the upper back. And as we inhale, beginning to slide the hands all the way back to the thighs into a kneeling position. And if you really don't like this position, you can always rise up. That's where we're going to be going. Or you can grab a block and put it underneath your seat to help support you. Take a moment to move through the shoulders, just release. And as we inhale, start to extend the hands forward, thumbs pointing straight up, active through the fingers. As we exhale, holding here, allow the shoulders to move away from the ears. And inhale, extend the arms out, reach straight back. Maybe you clasp through the hands if it's available. And we exhale, beginning to tuck the chin, reaching the hands forward, palms straight. Inhale, begin to extend the hands back, straightening through the elbows. And exhale, hands come straight out, palms parallel, thumbs up. Starting to match your movement to breath. Inhale, maybe clasping through the hands. Exhale, extending forward and kind of tucking the tailbone as you come forward. So we're doing a variation of cat-cow. Again, just to move in even more into the shoulders. One more round, wherever you are. Finding your inhale. Exhale, extending forward, holding here, and then releasing the hands down to the tops of the thighs. We're going to rise up onto the knees. And if you are on a hard floor or your knees need a bit more love, please do fold the mat, give yourself cushioning, or you can always put a blanket, something underneath the knees. Just make sure that they're comfortable. So make sure that the knees are parallel, the toes are pointing straight back wherever you are, and the hands come to the hips here. Now take a moment to again release through the shoulders. And we're going to bring the hands to the low back, the palms pressing in, creating that stability, fingers pointing down, and then bringing the shoulders up and back. Start to really squeeze the shoulder blades together. The elbows are going to be moving toward each other. So they're not touching, but well, heck, if you're able to, go for it. But the idea is that they're coming together. And you open the chest as you do this, press in through the palms. And find your breath. Now, this may be enough for you. If you want to go a bit deeper, you can come into your full camel pose. So in full camel, start to release the hands down toward the heels, press in through the big toenails, and bring the shoulder blades firmly together as you lift the belly, the chest up. And you can release the head all the way down to open the throat. This doesn't feel very good to me, so I always like to tuck my chin in, but do what feels right. Feel the base, find your breath. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, if you're in full camel, gently guide the hands back to the low back, tuck tailbone in, rise up. If you're in a different variation, start to tuck the tailbone in, active through the core, and then begin to release down. Finding this curve in the back, so again, tucking the chin, maybe gripping through the hands onto the knees. And then as we inhale, rising back up. Take a moment to shake out through the shoulders, shake out through the arms. Release any of that. Shaking's always a great way to release, so recommend doing it whenever you have stuff that needs to move around in the body. And from here, we're going to come into a cross-legged position. So it doesn't matter which leg you cross over, just see what's comfortable. Make sure your sit bones are rooted into the mat, so move any fleshy bits you have out of the way. As we inhale, extending the arms up and reaching up. And as we exhale, pushing the space down, tucking the chin in. Inhale, push the space up, active through the fingers, you're lengthening. Exhale, push the space down. Length all the way through the shoulders, through the arms. Inhaling up. Pull low belly in, exhale, coming down. And then holding here. We're going to start to release. So the right foot comes on top of the left knee. and the right knee is on top of the left foot. So you might have to kind of move your left foot out. If this doesn't quite work for you, you're always welcome to add a block underneath or just keep the same position we were, that seated position. Do what feels best to your body. Take a moment to feel this gentle hip opener, and as we inhale, extending out, exhale, pushing down. And then if you feel okay, and your hips are feeling okay, start to walk the left foot over toward the right foot over to the left. I actually like to manually kind of move my legs, so you try to stack the knees, one on top of the other, and you flex the toes. You'll feel this through the hips. As we inhale, extending the arms up. And as we exhale, starting to bend the right elbow, so the right hand comes to the top of the back as much as you're able. You can even bring your left hand over to the right elbow and just begin to move it so it kind of comes behind the head, or the idea of that if it's not quite reaching. So maintaining this length in the spine. You're welcome to hold here, or if you want to take it deeper, keeping the right arm where it is, extend the left arm out to the low back and start to walk it up, trying to make connection through the right fingers. So clasping the left and the right fingers, and then extending the right elbow up, extending the left elbow down, squeezing the thighs together, closing the eyes or keeping the gaze downward. Finding your breath here. Inhaling. And as we exhale, gently separate if you're in the full pose, extending the arms straight out. And as we exhale all the way down, really stretch as you come down, and then begin to move this right leg away from the left. You can give it a little rock if you just want to release any tension. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So to enter, again, you can always choose cross-legged seat, just reverse the way that you're crossing. This time the left foot comes on top, flexing back, left ankle on top of right knee, left knee on top of right ankle. And at first, just noticing your stance, feeling this length through the spine and upper body. And then, if it's available to you, start to walk the left foot over toward the left, and now the right foot. Oops, wrong way. Left foot over to the right, right foot to the left. Sometimes it's a brain workout too. Begin to flex back through the toes. You might notice it's different on this side, like mine aren't feeling quite as open. So just see where you are. Flex the toes back, extend the arms up. Pull the low belly gently in so you're getting this length here. And as we exhale, begin to bend the left elbow so the hand comes to the top of the back, so it's in between the shoulder blades. And you can bring the right hand, gently guide the left elbow so it goes deeper, maybe all the way toward the back of the head, or the idea of that movement. And you're welcome to hold here, or maybe you start to extend the right arm out. It moves to the low back, and then you start to walk the right fingers all the way up to connect with the left fingers. And once you get this kind of chain link connection through the fingers, extend the left elbow up and push the right elbow down. Getting this deep stretch and finding your breath. You might get a little shake in this pose too. Again, just keeping the breath even, steady. Taking your inhale, and as we exhale, gently separate, allow the hands to come straight out here, extending, open chest, and exhale, release all the way down, spreading through the fingers, reconnecting, and then we release the legs. So starting to guide the left leg back. Again, you can do that nice little kind of rocking the baby motion with the left leg if you'd like. And from here, we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. So lowering down, and again, maybe moving side to side, through the hips, through the shoulders, pressing the entire back into the mat. And from here, we're going to begin to bring the hands out to goalpost arms, so 90-degree elbows, palms facing up. And you're gonna wanna start to walk the soles of the feet, the heels in toward the sit bones. So the knees aren't splaying out, you have this nice parallel stance, and you start to connect in through the soles of the feet so you feel this base. We're gonna start to Bend the elbows in toward one another. So the palms will become parallel and you can activate through the fingers here. Finding your inhale. As we exhale, begin to bring the right elbow underneath the left, and if you're able, see if you can intertwine through the forearms and make connection through the palms. Coming into eagle arms. And you want the elbows to be moving away from you and the hands to be moving kind of back, like they're trying to reach above the head. So just noticing, you might add a bit of movement downward, forward, just feeling the stretch. Find your inhale. And as you exhale, begin to lift the right foot up and cross it over the left. You can hold here, or maybe you lift the left foot and intertwine the right leg behind it, coming into our eagle pose on our back, supine eagle pose. And then starting to really hug the thighs together, hug the elbows together. And try to keep the low back pressed into the mat. You'll feel that kind of lumbar curve allowing here. See if you can bring the knees a bit closer, activating the core and holding. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, lower the legs down if you had them up. Gently uncross the right foot, extending it before releasing it back next to the left. And then gently we unravel the arms. Extend them straight up, feel that energy, and then allow them to come straight out. If you can't push straight out, like I have a wall kind of in my way, just bend the elbows. Gonna do the same thing on the other side, so bend the elbows, move the shoulder blades, feel them connected into the mat, and then begin to lift the elbows up. The palms are facing toward one another. As we exhale, left elbow underneath the right, so opposite of what you did. If you're able, intertwine through the forearms, connect through the palms, and again, feel where you're putting your energy here. You want the hands to be moving kind of back, like they want to come over the head, but the elbows are moving down. So you're getting this kind of dual motion here, and you'll feel it in your shoulders. If you want to take the full pose, begin to extend the left leg up, cross it over the right, and you can either hold here, or maybe you begin to bring the left top of foot behind the right leg, and then you lift, coming into your full eagle. And you can flex the right toes here, allow the foot to hang. Notice what feels good. Finding your breath, really hug the thighs together, really hug the forearms together, the elbows. And again, notice that lumbar curve. If you have it in the back, try to activate through the core. So the entire back is pressing in. Take your inhale. And as we exhale, gently separate the left leg away from the right, lower both feet down, and then begin to unravel through the arms, extending them straight out. And then taking a moment to allow the heels to come in toward the sit bones. We're going to turn our palms down. Start to reach the fingers toward the heels, pressing in from the soles of the feet. We start to lift the front of the hip points up into our bridge pose. So checking your alignment here, do not move your head. Keep the chin tucked in toward the chest. Reach the fingers toward the heels. Press in through the soles of the feet. So you're feeling this activation in through the thighs, and the knees aren't splaying out, but rather you have this nice hip width distance through them. Kind of like you're holding something in between your thighs. As you exhale, lowering the back down, nice and slow, pressing every inch of it into the mat. And as we inhale, rising back up, this time maybe you interlace fingers behind you and nestle the shoulder blades in so you get an additional chest opener. Keeping the chin tucked. Keeping activation in through the soles of the feet. Inhaling here. And we exhale, lowering the back slowly down. And then this is where the blocks come in. So if you don't have blocks, take a moment to just nestle the shoulder blades together And start to release the knees. So the soles of the feet come together, the knees come out to the side. The palms can be up here or down, just notice what feels better. And we're just gonna take a minute to breathe. If you want the more intense, really, version of this, take your 2 blocks and you're gonna put them into a T shape. So one will be running along the mid-back in between the shoulder blades, and you kind of have to feel this out. And the other will be like a pillow for your head. So you can adjust this block as needed. If it does not feel comfortable, please don't use it. You want it to be straight up and down the spine if you're able. And then once you have your stance, your stability through the blocks, allow the hands to come just out to the side, slight bend in the elbow. And you just allow this chest opening to enter. Closing the eyes, releasing the body. And start to release the breath here. This is going to operate as our Shavasana today, our resting pose. You're welcome to stay here if you feel called to do so, if you feel like it would benefit you. Otherwise, if you're all the way down, just gently begin to rise into a cross-legged seat. And if you do have the blocks, just lower the forearms down, tuck the chin in, and gently guide yourself up. Knock the blocks over. Allow the blocks to move to the side, just somewhere on the mat. Come into this cross-legged seat. Bring the shoulders up toward the ears, release down. Shoulders up toward the ears and release down. One more. Shoulders up toward the ears, release down. And then sitting nice and tall, feeling this opening through the chest, this opening through the shoulders. Bring the hands together, pressing through the palms. And taking this openness, this shift you created, and taking it with you as you move on to your next task, adventure for the day, for the evening. Gently bringing the thumbs to your forehead and bowing forward, respectfully closing our class. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. You can do this class really anytime you're carrying tension in the shoulders. It's a really nice way to release that tension physically and sometimes emotionally. You can always come back to your breath too if you're feeling for that release. So thanks a lot for watching. Looking forward to practicing with you again soon. Just make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.